I won't prolong the introduction today, because the time has come. I tried to stay away. I tried to escape. I tried not to delve into this dark world that has devoured souls and turned people's lives upside down. But there is no escape. Do not try to convince yourselves that you are safe. Do not think you are far from this evil, because it is closer than you imagine. If you do not believe in its existence, there are those who did, those who dedicated their lives to its black depths, who immersed themselves in its forbidden ways until they became part of the darkness itself. And now, the time has come to unveil what has been hidden. You wanted this? Then prepare yourselves well, because we are about to embark on a terrifying journey through the most dangerous books in history. A journey into a world from which no one returns the same. Shams al-Ma'arif al-Kubra. This is not just a book. It is a gateway to a world that has never belonged and will never belong to humankind. Everyone who has approached it, who has read its lines, who has recited its incantations, has witnessed with their own eyes how life can turn into an endless nightmare. Wandering spirits, shadows moving in the darkness, whispers brushing against your ear while you are alone in the room. All of this is not mere imagination, but a reality warned about by everyone who dared to touch this cursed book. Between its damned rituals, its mysterious chapters, and its words written in ink that no one knows whether it was drawn from human blood or something else, this book remains the most dangerous ever known, not because it is rare or ancient, but because it is still used to this very day. It is still opened in the dark, and its consequences still send shivers down the spine. Listener, do not say you were not warned. Do not say you did not know. This is not a book to be read out of mere curiosity. This is not a door you can open and close at will. This is a book that, once you start, you may never be able to stop. If you are still here, still listening, then I warn you one last time. Take a deep breath. Make sure you are in a safe place, because now we are about to enter details that should never be spoken, secrets that should never be revealed. Welcome to the world of Shams al-Ma'arif al-Kubra, the world from which there is no escape. Before we start, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and wait for our new videos. The author of this book is not just an ordinary writer. He is a man surrounded by rumors and legends, a man said to have possessed knowledge beyond that of mere humans, a man who isolated himself from the world. But was he contemplating, or was he listening to the whispers of otherworldly forces? He is Ahmad bin Ali bin Yusuf al-Buni al-Maliki, known as Abu al-Abbas al-Buni. He was born in the city of Buna, known today as Annaba, in the year 520 AH, and departed this world in 620 AH, after living 102 years. But the more important question is, did he truly depart? Al-Buni was known for his vast knowledge and wisdom. He loved to travel, journeying across cities and countries in pursuit of knowledge. But he was no ordinary student. His journey began in Tunisia, where he memorized the Quran and studied Maliki jurisprudence. Then, he moved to Al-Andalus, where he met great scholars such as Abu al-Qasim al-Suhaili, Ibn Bashkuwal, and the jurist Ahmad bin Ja'far al-Khazraji al-Sabti. From there, he traveled across Africa, then to Egypt, specifically Alexandria, where he met the hadith scholar Abu Tahir al-Salafi. But his journey did not end there. He reached Cairo, where he settled during the reign of Caliph al-Adid Lidin Allah. But he did not stay long. Instead, he prepared for pilgrimage and traveled to Mecca to perform Hajj. Even after his return, he never settled. He continued his journey from Jerusalem to Damascus, then to Baghdad, where he met the renowned scholar Abu al-Faraj ibn al-Jawzi. He then returned once more to Jerusalem and as the pilgrimage season approached, he traveled back to Mecca for a second Hajj, as if something was pushing him to search for something or someone. But the most terrifying aspect of his life was not his constant travels, but his mysterious solitude. He was known for his love of isolation, retreating far from people, disappearing into mountains, caves, and deserts, especially Mount Makud, east of Tunisia, where he spent days and nights without food, without speaking to anyone. Or perhaps he was not alone. There, in the darkness of his isolation, the rumors began to spread. Was he truly alone? Or was he in the presence of otherworldly beings whispering hidden secrets into his ears? It was said that his solitude granted him the ability to communicate with the jinn, and even more than that they were the ones who taught him the secrets of astrology, revealed the future of nations to him, and were the primary source behind his most infamous work, Shams al-Ma'arif al-Kubra. This was not an empty claim. Al-Buni left behind nearly 40 books, some of which are still in circulation today, such as Shar Asma Allah al-Husna, the explanation of the beautiful names of Allah, in 2 volumes, Al-Luma al-Nuraniya, the luminous gleam, and Al-Anmat. But the terrifying question that no one has been able to answer to this day is, why would a devout scholar, trained by the greatest minds of his time, write a book completely different from all his previous works? How could a man like Al-Buni, who dedicated his life to knowledge and religion, write a book as unsettling as Shams al-Ma'arif al-Kubra, a book described by many as the most dangerous in history? And this is where an even more chilling theory emerged. What if Al-Buni was not the true author? What if this book was merely attributed to him because of his disappearances into the mountains and his alleged connection with hidden forces? However, the dominant opinion among historians and scholars remains that Abu al-Abbas al-Buni was, indeed, the actual author of this cursed book. And now, what is this book? Or rather, what is its mysterious and controversial content? Listen carefully, for this is our next stop. But before we continue, make sure you are alone in the room, or at the very least, make sure that whoever is with you is human. Shams al-Ma'arif al-Kubra, the cursed book that is not easily read. There exist books that are not meant to fall into everyone's hands, books shrouded in secrecy, containing cryptic incantations and obscure spells. It is said that they open doors to realms that should remain closed and are recited in ways that should never be spoken. Among all such books, one stands above the rest, a book whose origins are uncertain, whose first words were written by an unknown hand. Yet one fact is unanimously agreed upon. It is not an ordinary book. It is Shams al-Ma'arif al-Kubra, the manuscript that has long been the center of controversy, to the point where merely mentioning its name is enough to instill fear. But is it simply a book about spirituality, or is it a key to secrets that were never meant to be uncovered? The enigma of its mysterious origins. There is no definitive date for when this book was written. However, the earliest known manuscript dates back to between 1679 and 1688 CE, corresponding to the late 11th century Hijri. Yet, the identity of the person who first transcribed this manuscript remains unknown to this day. Then, in 1895, Lebanese writer Abdul Qadir al-Husseini al-Adami rewrote the manuscript, adding 4 additional chapters as a commentary on its content. Nearly a century later, in 1985, the book was printed for the first time by al-Maktab al-Shabi in Beirut, spreading like wildfire and sparking an uproar that has yet to subside. But the real question remains, why this book in particular? What makes it so controversial? And why is it said that reading it could lead to consequences beyond imagination? A book without an original copy. Before diving into the book's contents, there is something strange that must be mentioned. The original copy of the book does not exist. All that remains are scattered copies, some of which are preserved in places like the British Museum, yet no one knows for certain what happened to the very first edition. Was it deliberately destroyed, or is there a more mysterious reason behind its disappearance? This remains one of the many enigmas we will explore later. What does this book contain? Shams al-Ma'arif al-Kubra consists of 577 pages, divided into 4 parts, all compiled within a single volume. The book is structured into 40 chapters, each tackling a topic that is either arcane or unfamiliar. The introduction appears ordinary at first. The author begins by praising Allah and expressing gratitude, asserting that the book was written for the sake of God. However, at the same time, he warns against using its content without proper understanding, emphasizing the dangerous nature of its teachings. So, what could possibly be so dangerous? The chapter that should never be read. The chapters cover a range of subjects, from astronomical calculations and astrology to the mystical properties of letters and their connections to hidden secrets. For instance, Chapter 1 explores Arabic letters and their links to cryptic alphabets. Chapters 3 and 4 discuss lunar mansions and zodiac signs and their mystical influences. Chapters 5, 9, and 10 delve into the secrets of specific Quranic verses such as Al-Fatiha, Ayat al-Kursi, and Surah Yasin, and how they can be used in ways that defy conventional understanding. Chapter 6 discusses seclusion and spiritual retreat, and how they can serve as a means to connect with the celestial realms. But all of this pales in comparison to the chapter that should never be read alone. Chapter 7. This chapter carries a chilling title, On the Names by Which Prophet Jesus Revived the Dead, and here is where the true mystery begins. The book speaks of words and names that are claimed to have been used to bring the dead back to life. Are these merely religious symbols, or is there a deeper, more terrifying secret hidden within? The talismans and symbols that have no explanation. As the chapters progress, the content of the book becomes increasingly bizarre, particularly in Chapter 19, on the properties of certain talismans and seals. Here, the book introduces mysterious sigils and unexplainable symbols, said to be keys to forces that should never be tampered with. Unintelligible geometric drawings, inscriptions in an unknown language, numbers intertwined with names and zodiac signs. All of these elements are blended with Quranic verses and the names of Allah, arranged in an unsettling manner. And that's not all. The book delves even further into occult knowledge, linking the 4 classical elements, fire, air, earth, and water, with what is known as the 4 humors, yellow bile, phlegm, blood, and black bile. This theory, originally proposed by Hippocrates, suggests that any imbalance in these elements could lead to illness, or something far worse. Angels and geometric symbols. Among the most peculiar topics is what the book mentions about angels. It claims that each angel has a specific day of the week and a unique geometric symbol. Jibril, Gabriel, Monday, associated with the heptagon, 7-sided shape. Israfil, Raphael, Thursday, linked to the square. Mikhail, Michael, Wednesday, connected to the octagon. Azrael, angel of death, Saturday, represented by the triangle. The strangest part? These symbols are not merely drawings. They are incorporated into the talismans and incantations described in the book, raising endless questions about the nature of these texts and their intended purpose. The most terrifying section, the talk of the jinn. If you think the book reaches its peak of horror here, then brace yourself for what's next. Because what comes now is the most dangerous and enigmatic part of the book, the section that discusses the jinn. What does the book reveal about them? How are they summoned? And why is it said that those who have read the book in its entirety have experienced strange occurrences in their lives? This is what we will explore in the next part, if you dare to continue. But now, we enter the most terrifying and mysterious part. Here, where truth intertwines with fiction, Shams al-Ma'arif speaks of a world that few dare to approach. The world of jinn, their kings, and their followers. But the greatest surprise, these beings are not just vague shadows surrounding us. Each king has his own name, his sacred day, and his ruling planet. Ruqyael, the lord of the solar sphere, rules over Sunday. Gabriel, the king of the moon, is the absolute ruler of Monday. Samsamael, the spirit of fire and Mars, reigns over Tuesday. Michael, the lord of Mercury, exerts his power on Wednesday. Sarfael, the king of Jupiter, governs Thursday. Anyael, associated with Venus, possesses Friday. And finally, Casfiael, the master of darkness, and Saturn, owns Saturday. But what is even more chilling is that these kings are not alone. Each one of them has ministers, servants, and followers who roam among us in the lower world. And imagine where this world is. Yes, it is here, on this very earth we walk upon. Among these servants mentioned in the book, Zarnukat, who appears in the form of a black cat or a ferocious tiger. If you see its shadow lurking in the night, beware. The wrathful lion, used by sorcerers to sow hatred and separate lovers. The mere mention of its name suggests danger. The many-armed squirrel, a creature whose origin remains unknown. Does it belong to our world, or does it come from the realm of shadows? Azazir, the most dangerous of them all. It is said that he only responds to those who prostrate before him. Can you imagine the horror? Zaytun, who disguises himself as a black cat, sitting in abandoned places, silently watching, waiting for someone to summon him. But the most terrifying and daring part? The book speaks of female jinn servants, terrifying entities that take the shape of enchanting women with ominous features, appearing only to those who summon them through obscure rituals. Al-Mahazan, the one with beautiful features, who appears in graveyards, but only comes to those who dare to offer the strangest sacrifices. Na'ila al-Shu'ur al-Ma'ila, Na'ila of the slanted hair, whose thick hair covers her entire body. She only responds to those who recite the correct incantations. And it does not stop there. It is said that these entities rule over the four corners of the earth and the four seasons, and that those who dare to read about them and summon them may never be the same again. All of this is just a fragment of the secrets of Shams al-Ma'arif al-Kubra. But the biggest question remains. Is this book just an ancient manuscript, or is it a secret gateway to another world? And in the next episode, we will recount real stories of people who dared to open this book, and the consequences were shocking. Are you ready? But remember, some doors should never be opened. Shams al-Ma'arif, the cursed legend and the forbidden incantation that still strikes fear in the Arab world. It is said that this book is not just an ancient manuscript, but a key to a hidden world, a world of black magic in its most horrifying form. Sorcerers who hide behind the masks of spiritual healers worship it, claim to possess it, and use it to fulfill their sinister goals. Breaking up marriages, controlling minds, summoning wealth, or withholding it, and even calling upon unknown entities. But to achieve these dark objectives, one must adhere to strict rituals. A 7-day retreat, extreme fasting, and breaking the fast only with oil, zabid, a type of curd, barley flour, and vinegar. The rituals do not stop there, but demand mysterious exercises that only those who have entered this forbidden realm understand. Those who survive these rituals are said to gain the aid of jinn and the servants of darkness. However, some have dared to open this door, and the consequences were disastrous. The first story, the accursed Pact, one man, whose name remains undisclosed, recounts his story and how chance led him into this world. A young man struggled with memory retention. As his exams approached, he searched the internet for ways to improve his memory and stumbled upon a Shams al-Ma'arif recipe that promised a superhuman memory. Out of curiosity and desperation, he followed the instructions, and the result was astonishing. He aced the exam with an ironclad memory. But curiosity can be the key to doom. The young man wanted more. He hunted down a complete copy of the book, scouring old bookstores and markets until he found a street vendor who hesitated at first, but eventually sold him a copy for an exorbitant price. Upon returning home, he began reading, but nothing made sense. Obscure texts, cryptic symbols, and incantations that seemed beyond human comprehension. In frustration, he tossed the book into his closet. But in the following days, strange things started happening. Whispers in the darkness, shadows moving on their own, a mysterious fragrance filling the air. The young man remembered the book and pulled it out again, flipping through its pages until he reached the chapters on summoning jinn and their services. He decided to perform the rituals exactly as described. At first, nothing happened, but within days he began feeling an unseen presence beside him at night, cold breaths, and a soft touch on his skin. At first, he dismissed it as his imagination, even joking with himself. Could the beautiful Jinni from the book have accepted me as her husband? But this was no joke. One night she appeared before him, an astonishingly beautiful being, but with features not entirely human, and the marriage was sealed. At first, the young man was ecstatic. Anything he wished for came true in an instant. But when his father arranged for him to marry a human girl, all hell broke loose. The result? The girl he was supposed to marry mysteriously died. His father suffered paralysis. His life turned into a never-ending nightmare until he lost his ability to speak entirely. Today he claims he has gotten rid of the book. But has he truly escaped its influence? It doesn't seem so. The second story, Summoning the King of the South. Another young man, a passionate seeker of mystical books, fell victim to this terrifying enigma. When he heard about Shams al-Ma'arif, he was determined to obtain it at any cost. When he finally did, one chapter caught his attention: the invocation of the King of the South, a powerful jinn ruler. He waited for Sunday, the designated day for this entity, and prepared everything as per the ritual. What happened next? His house began to shake. Cracks appeared on the walls before his very eyes, but only he could see them. A being with glowing red eyes started appearing in the dark, watching him silently, never speaking, never fully vanishing. Every morning, he woke up to find strange markings carved into his skin. The young man discarded the book, but the beings he summoned did not discard him. Conclusion: where is the original copy of Shams al-Ma'arif? Dozens of similar stories circulate everywhere. Are they all true? Perhaps not. But to this day, no one knows the fate of the original manuscript. Historians have proposed 3 theories regarding its disappearance, one of which may shock you. Are you ready to hear it? Stay tuned. The real stories have yet to begin. The mystery of the book of Shams al-Ma'arif al-Kubra. Has it vanished forever? For centuries, the book Shams al-Ma'arif al-Kubra has been a source of both fear and fascination. It is said to be the most dangerous magical book in history, filled with incantations and spells that defy human comprehension. Some dismiss it as mere superstition, while others believe it holds forbidden knowledge that humans were never meant to access. But the real question remains: where is the original copy of this book? And why did it disappear? 3. Chilling theories. Behind the book's disappearance theory. 1. The jinn themselves took it. According to some accounts, the jinn, the very beings said to have revealed their secrets to al-Buni, eventually realized the book's true danger. They knew that if it fell into the hands of a powerful sorcerer, they could become enslaved to humans. To prevent this, they took the original manuscript to their hidden realm, concealing it until the end of time. Could this book really be a key to controlling the entities of darkness? Theory 2. It was destroyed by fearful scholars after al-Buni's death. His book sparked madness and paranoia among those who read it. Fear spread like wildfire, with whispers that anyone who dared to experiment with its teachings fell under an eerie, unexplainable affliction. Terrified of the consequences, scholars and religious authorities may have burned the book and eradicated all traces of it, ensuring it would never be used for dark purposes. Theory 3. It was buried with al-Buni himself. The most mysterious theory suggests that the original copy of Shams al-Ma'arif was buried alongside its author. Could this have been part of a secret ritual? And if so, why has no one ever dared to exhume the grave and retrieve the book? Or did someone already find it and conceal the truth? A forbidden truth and the Islamic perspective. Regardless of its fate, Arab governments have banned the sale and distribution of Shams al-Ma'arif, except in Lebanon, where it remains available. Despite these restrictions, black market copies continue to circulate, attracting curious seekers and self-proclaimed sorcerers in shadowy corners of the occult world. Islam's stance on the matter is clear and absolute. Magic is one of the greatest sins, and a book filled with forbidden incantations and mystical spells is unanimously prohibited by all Islamic schools of thought, whether reading it, practicing its content, or even possessing it. Al-Buni, a sorcerer or a saint. Perhaps the greatest controversy is not about the book itself, but about its author, Ahmad al-Buni. Who was he? Some claim he was a heretical sorcerer, and that modern-day magic is rooted in his work. Others, particularly Sufis, believe he was a righteous mystic, a scholar with divine knowledge and miraculous abilities. Was al-Buni a learned sage or a dangerous magician? Was he enlightened or cursed? Unanswered mysteries. But one truth remains. No one can deny that Shams al-Ma'arif is a real book, but its original copy vanished along with its author, leaving behind a dark legacy of fear and curiosity. And yet, many questions remain unanswered. Why did al-Buni write this book despite being a scholar of Islamic jurisprudence? Did the jinn truly assist him in writing it? Is this book the ultimate source of all black magic in the Arab world? And most importantly, where is it now? Is it still hidden, or does someone possess it today? Anything is possible. The doors remain open, but some secrets may be better left untold. Tell us in the comments. Do you believe these theories? Is this book a myth, or does it hold forbidden secrets that should never be uncovered?